What's up, guys? Welcome to the Amazon Savages podcast. Today, I'm joined with Eric, who sells full-time on Amazon. I've shot one video with him before, but he's coming back on the channel because he's doing this full-time. I think he's a big inspiration. He's making it work. He's doing the strategies, going out, finding books, putting in the hard work, and he's doing this full-time, providing for his family. So welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the Amazon Savages podcast. Hear the stories of Amazon sellers crushing it in the game and keep up with the latest strategies that are working. Sit back, relax, and remember, if you truly try and work really hard, you will make a ridiculous amount of money selling on Amazon.
Ridiculous amount of money, but you got to put the work in, and you put the work in. How'd you get to 5K in sales each month? That's enough for you to be able to provide for your family.
Yeah.
And, you're doing this out of Denver. So kind of break that down for us, how you got to this point.
So I started, reselling pretty much everything on eBay, watching YouTube videos. And that can be kind of stressful. There's a lot of competition in the reselling market, especially in the town that I live in. Just like everybody is a reseller, from, 15-year college kids to, an 80-year-old reseller, sells everything.
Yeah.
And it got just so hard and so much competition to, find all the vintage toys and t-shirts and all that stuff and store them and list them. And just, it became too much. I saw a video by Caleb Roth. He was I think he was in Nebraska, and he was talking about Amazon, selling books on Amazon. He was going to this giant warehouse, digging through books with his partner, and just it looked like so much fun. And it's like what I like to do. I like to dig. I like to find things. I like books. I grew up reading a ton of books, wrote a ton of stuff. And I said, man, you know what? Like, I don't really know anyone in my town, Northern Colorado, who's really doing books and media. And I said, I'm going to switch it up, and I'm just going to do books. So I watched hours upon hours of videos. Just everybody you can think of. I've watched almost probably 80% of their videos. And then I just said, you know what, let's just get to it, and going out to the thrift stores. And, this was after COVID. So, I think for me, after I've done this for a few months, it was about May is pretty much when I particularly started kicking off Amazon pretty hardcore. And, it's thrift stores, estate sales, garage sales. With it being May, garage sales are the biggest thing for me. Just every Thursday, Friday, scouring Craigslist, Facebook, Marketplace, Nextdoor, creating free book pickup ads, just all the things, talking to the general managers of thrift stores around here, and, schmoozing them with Starbucks gift cards that maybe have maximum access, get to know the volunteers. And that worked well. I did well. I was able to find a consistent supply, and it was every day, every single day, just out and about, looking for the books, getting the books. And it's tough. Like, it was hard. It's a lot of hard work, and, but you got to be consistent. And I did that for a really long time. I'd say from May until about, I don't know, July, maybe middle of June. That was my routine every single day. Go find the books, list the books, and get them off to Amazon and start making some money. So that's kind of how I started with it,
Yeah. And so did you have like a books per week goal, or were you just kind of gunslinging it and seeing how many you could get? I mean, your active inventory must be close to 2,000-ish, 1,500.
Right now it's about 1,100.
Okay.
Um,
Your sell-through rate's pretty good then.
my sell-through rate's pretty high. I find some pretty awesome books. Um, I do have a little different situation than most people I've talked to about Amazon. I actually have um, I've met an old time Amazon seller um, through mutual friend who um, I sold some video game stuff to at one of my garage sales, and he's a full-time eBay reseller. And I said, "Hey man, when you're out, I can't go out this weekend. Here's some of my business cards. If you see anybody that has a ton of books, give them my card. Shoot me an email, shoot me a text. I'll come and I'll check them out. I'll talk to them, see what we can work out." Very first sale he goes to, and this was probably about June-ish, I would say. This guy had about 40 boxes, like Home Depot boxes, full of books. And so he immediately shoots me a text and was like, "Check this out. Getting this guy's card. Used to sell on Amazon like 20 years ago. Got out of the game 10 years ago. Still has connects all over the country." And I'm like, "Sweet. I am going to go over there now." I shut my garage sale down, completely took everything down, took the signs down, ran over to this dude, and just started building this relationship. Um, he was, really busy with his sale. It's the first time he's had a garage sale for the books. And so, we're talking, and he's like, "You know what? At the end of the day, when this garage sale's over about 2, anything that's left over, you can have for free. Just come and pick it up. It's yours." And I said, "Sweet. That works for me." So about 2 o'clock, came back. There was about 25 boxes, DVDs, CDs, books. Um, and I got them all. I got them all for free. Came home, spent, I don't know, 9 hours just going through the books, divvying them up for Amazon, divvying them up for any buyback companies, any textbooks, checking restricted inventory.
Hey,
There it is.
baby,
There
restricted
it is.
inventory.
Grind hard, well done, sir, and welcome to the freaking well show.
Back to the pod.
And it was amazing. I mean, amazing. And I was able to, I don't know, potential profit on all those free books, I think was north of 3,000.
Mm.
It was crazy. And so from there, we set up a meeting after I got back from a vacation, and we just kind of talked about how if he wanted to work with me, what my goals were, what kind of person I am. He someone who's been in the game for as long as he has. He is just instrumental to me. Just the things that I've learned, and how the past, how Amazon started and how he started, and things like that. And so from there, we agreed upon a price for a set amount of bankers boxes, and every week I buy X amount of books, and their self he picks them. He I don't really know where he has it, all his where he gets all these books, but they are superb books. They are sealed textbooks. They are current textbooks. They are art books, philosophy, obscure occult books, and they're in, I mean, pristine condition. These things half of them look like they've never been read. So he's hand picking these books for me. And he doesn't, he has access to my Amazon account. He can scan if he wants to, but he doesn't. And so that's currently.
What kind of volume are we talking that you're getting from him weekly?
So I'm getting about 200 to 250 hand-picked books that are good for either FBA or merchant fulfilled. The previous guy that he worked for a few years was merchant fulfilled only. So he's kind of kept with that. those kind of books that they use to work together with, which is fine for me. I don't mind at all. Like I don't have any problem doing merchant fulfilled. Um, but yeah, I've got about 200, 250 books.
How much merchant fulfilled do you have right now?
Not a ton, not a ton.
Like a couple hundred or?
Yeah, I'd say about 225. I'm doing, because Q4 is set. I'm pretty much every day I'm sending between 30 and 35 books to Amazon, and I'm listing about 20 to 40 merchant fulfilled every day. And
Mhm.
then I'm doing
What makes you what's the decision to merchant fulfill a book versus FBA a book?
usually the sales rank.
Yeah.
If it's, you know, 5 million, I'll hold on to it. Um, if it's if it's a super, if it's a big book or a thick book, I'll hold on to it. If it's
You know what'd be
something,
really cool? I just thought of this. If one of the app creators did this, where on Scout IQ, it would have we already have e-score,
Mhm,
we have sales rank, but what if they had like a probability of sell through? And the
yeah,
probability of sell through would depend on the number of offers, the number of FBA offers, and if there's fewer than 20 offers, then that means we know all the FBA offers that exist because the API has given us all the information. If there's more than 20 offers, we don't know if there's multiple FBA offers. Not to get too complicated, but that's a problem with all these apps,
yeah,
including repricers. Amazon doesn't give the apps the information because they want to keep the prices low to keep the customers happy.
yeah,
But assuming there are fewer than 20 offers, then Scout IQ would have all the information needed and it could see, oh, there's truly no FBA offers and there's 18 offers total. Therefore, if you send this to FBA, your chances of sell through are 20% in the first 6 months.
yeah,
And so, with a 20% likelihood of sell through, if the profit is $100 on a book, and let's just say the sales ranks 3 million and the e-score is 2 or 1, then I would kind of consider that a $20 profit book almost because
yeah,
the probability of a sell through is only 20%, but the profit's 100. So if you were to send that book in 100 times, you would probably sell it 20 times. And so on average, you'd make about $20 minus, I guess, the four for every one book you sell, you'd have to dispose four. So you'd be left with, you'd probably have to pay at least $8. Let's just say $10 in removal fees. So truly, that would only be a $10 profit book, which still isn't terrible. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it would be kind of cool to like mathematically look at it that way. And actually, I talked to Caleb after he left, after he exited, and he said that he kind of wanted like one number for Scout IQ. So like when you scan a book, it gives you one number rather than like the whole screen of everything. It just gives you one number of how much profit could this book make you. And I think mathematically, it might look something like I just said.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I do, yeah, and it makes sense because, like, I don't know. Lately, in the last, I would say, week or two, I've kind of been, I have my triggers set to tell me, should I merchant fulfill it, depending on how much um, it sells, like whatever the e score is. That's how I set up my triggers, and I can't, honestly, I can't remember what they are. um, but then I've decided, you know what, if it doesn't show that there's any FBA, and especially now in Q4, I'm thinking, okay, you know what? Like, even if it says I should merchant fulfill it and there's four offers merchant fulfilled, I'm going to send it in because I'm kind of playing the little gamble of, all right, let's see if there's four.
well,
I'm going to,
yeah, I look at it like that too. It's like if there's only 4 merchant offers, no FBA offers, and you send it in and you match relatively close to the lowest price, like you're gonna be the next sale.
yeah,
Like, let's be honest, like 95% chance you're gonna be the next sale. And so if the E score is 5, it
mhm,
doesn't sound like much. Or even if the E score is 2, it doesn't sound like much, but if you're for sure going to be the next sale and it sells about 2 times every 6 months, which is 4 times a year, you're only have to wait a quarter to sell
Yeah.
it, you know? And so I look at it that way too. Like, but if I scan a book and it's got an E-score of 9 and there's like 100 offers and 20 FBA offers, I'm like, there's a chance this will never sell.
Yeah.
And I think that that's like an underrated or a metric that we don't even really see. And I think there should be some type of, not an E-score, but like a sell-through score or something like that. So maybe I have to make my own scanning app.
Yeah. Yeah. You can partner with Caleb. Tell him.
Yeah. Well, he's done. He's
Oh,
moving on to bigger and better things. Everyone shout out to Caleb Roth, the book flipper. He's taught me everything about books. He's got a new podcast called Stacking Habits. Go check it out. I think it's stackinghabits.com. And he's talking about, getting into different apps. I won't really, it's not in the book industry or Amazon space, but can definitely help you make money. So go follow his podcast if you guys haven't already.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great business mind. Like,
Yeah.
I read an interview that he did recently, yesterday, I think.
Oh, for Grace College.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't read that one yet, but yeah,
It was awesome. It was awesome.
yeah. He's funny. Sometimes he's like, I wonder if it's just all luck that, and I'm like, dude, there's no way, like in 1,000 universes, we plop you down in any country that's developed, you're going to make it work. Like,
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? And I think it's one of those things that, you can learn, you can learn anything. And I think entrepreneurship is kind of it can be ingrained in you a little bit. I think you're born with it just a little.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think your education and what you're interested in, I think you can learn how to do anything.
Yeah. Well, like the thing is, like the world is entrepreneurship. Like,
yeah,
Earth,
always
nature is entrepreneurship. Like, look outside, like the birds, the bees, they're competing with each other. Like, even the garden outside, like little, mulch bed, there's like weeds coming up. You can interpret that as like the resellers coming through trying to get there, and then the flowers grow, and you can interpret that as like Goodwill trying to sell. And I don't know, like everyone's trying to compete for the sunlight, the water, the dirt, and like to think that we don't, even like if you work within a company, like you're still kind of like an entrepreneur in a sense because you're helping that company grow. Like you're still a cog in the wheel.
Yeah, a big cog and a very small cog and a very big wheel.
Yeah.
And that's, and you're right. It's the same thing. It's all the same. It's all connected. It's all the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy doing this full time, much more than I enjoyed working in a hospital for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Corporate life is good, but there's something about just doing something on your own, getting on your own feet, figuring it out, going through it. And I don't know, it's so awesome. And I don't know, I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I really like one of my podcast guests. I think it was Mike. He was breaking down. He's like, he didn't say the numbers right. He was like 50% of Amazon sales are book sales. I looked it up. It's only 10%. That's still a lot.
Yeah.
There's millions and millions of sales a day, and 10% of those are book sales. And he's like, if I just get 0.000000001% of those sales,
it's awesome.
That's a lot of money. And so there's like this insane demand that's basically unlimited for a product, use books. And then if you truly look at it objectively, there's like an infinite amount of books in America that most people are not tapping into. Most people are not putting the effort in. Most people just aren't looking. There's the thrift stores, there's the libraries, but then you just listed off like 5 other places to get books that like probably 90% of our audience hasn't even tried yet.
Yeah.
And this relationship you have is really cool. And it's replenishable, which is what I really like about it. You're able to get this every week after week. So you've truly built like a real business, because what you could do is you could eventually replace yourself with someone else to go get the books. Listing the books on Amazon's easy. You could delegate that, and then you have a business that runs itself. Like you have a connection, you have a means to list the books on Amazon. As long as you have a good repricing and inventory management system on the back end, like you're just printing money. you know, and then you stack 10 of those relationships on top of each other. All of a sudden, 5,000 sales is 50K in
Yep.
sales.
And it's last week. We've been working together so hard, and he's learning more about other books. I mean, he knows real deep into like philosophy and humanities and textbooks, and well, not so much newer textbooks, but he has an idea. He has an eye. He knows what publishers are fantastic. He can tell just by the way the book feels. He knows, you know what, this has to be worth something. And he'll look them up on Amazon. He understands he understands the algorithms. He understands all of it. But him and I are working together. We're doing so well. He is trying to get one of his old business partners back into the game for me, who can get, from what I understand, who has more connections for like private picks, like professors and things like that. So that'll be cool if it works out, which it sounds like it will. I don't know how our price structure with him will be, but I'm more than happy with the money that I'm spending with him. And it's not a lot, it's like maybe $300 a week. That's not a ton of money, but
you're paying like $1.20 a bookish.
About $1.15 a book. And half the time, one of those books, profit wise, estimated, pays back my entire haul. And it's crazy to think that, I mean, it's insane. And we just came up with a new plan. He finds lower ranked books, or higher ranked books, 5,000, 10,000, lower profit, $3, $4. But he sells me these big boxes for, a Home Depot box with about 50 books for $10. Not all of them are home runs. Not all of them are, going to make me a ton of money, but $10 for 50 books. I mean, that's a no brainer. And then
what percent of those 50 books would you say you're pulling?
Oh, maybe 10% of them are good for FBA, but a lot of them are like a series, of like, I don't have any with me, but some random like Hindu series from like the 70s, So I'll put that
These
on.
are good books.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
And
we did a show last night, and Christoph, was it Christoph? Yeah, Christoph was saying he was paying $1 per pound at a thrift store, and he just kind of pulled that number out of his ass. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll pay $1 per pound," and he was like happy about it. And that was during his presentation. And after his presentation, we did a live Q&A. I'm pretty sure $1 per pound is like outrageously expensive.
That is
and
insane.
I asked a few people, and they were like, everyone was like, yeah, like that's way too much. But he was like, it's just funny because but like you're paying way more than $1 per pound. You're paying $10 for 50 books, but the books are really good. And so even if you only get 5, and each book brings you in 22, let's say just a true like $12 gross profit, you're paying, what would that be per book? Well, you're essentially paying, would it be $10 for 5 books? You're paying $2 per book. Essentially, like for the books you keep, you're paying $2 per book.
And I can build my own boxes. So he picks the box.
But you're bringing in 12 gross profits. So who gives a shit? Like it's good. And so people have to realize, like, when it makes sense, pay a lot for books. Like, don't be like, oh, I have to pay 5 cents per pound. Like, no, if you have to pay $50 for one textbook that's going to bring you in 150, do it.
Yeah.
And so, but if you're going to buy from a thrift store, generally like paying over 150, 200 for a Gaylord of books is like really, really expensive, but it can be worth it if it's good textbooks. And so you have to realize, like, go through the material first and just do the math. Like, how much profit is it going to make you? And if it's going to make you triple, quadruple, like, do it.
Yeah. You can't be afraid to spend the money if it makes sense and you can afford it. You don't want to take out a loan to do this.
Yeah. And you have healthy sell through. What'd you say? How many units have you sold the last 30 days? Do you know?
I can look real quick. I think I looked yesterday. I think I was at the last 30 days unit sales. Um, about 150.
You've only sold 150 books the last 30 days?
Well, I got super sick, so I wasn't
Wait,
able
what are
to.
your sales then? Are your sales lower?
My sales have lowered in the last 30 days just because I wasn't consistent when I got sick for 2 weeks.
Your sales are like what, 2,500 ish?
No, it's more than that. Let me see. Hold on. About 4K right now.
Okay, and you've only sold 150 units?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Your ASP is really good, 26 ASP,
Yeah.
and you're probably out of that 4,000. I mean, you're probably getting like at least a $2,800 payout from that,
Per month. Yeah.
if not more.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, you haven't asked this question, but the thing that I've learned recently, very recently, is that if you are not consistent with this, if you do not send the books in on a regular basis, you will not make the sales, and your sales rank will low. You will make less money. And that is what happened to me. I had life happen, and I did not have any backup books, and I wasn't able to send the books in. I wasn't able to get books for a few weeks, and it hurt a lot. Um, but now I'm getting back to it, um, and it's not going to take me very long. Um, I can do with what I have in stock right now from the last few weeks of pickups and being able to send in. I can do um, probably for about 2 weeks. I can send about 35 books a day. So I'm not overly worried about it, but that is so important. You have to
Mhm.
do it all the time. You have to build the inventory because the more you send, the more you'll sell. The better stuff you get, the quicker it'll sell. And for me, keeping my stock up is extremely hard.
If
Um,
you keep sending in 37 or 30, you said 35 books a day,
yep.
and you only sell 80% of your inventory, and your ASP remains the same at $26, that would be 35 books a day times 26 ASP times 30 days in a month times 80%, 0.8, because 20% of your books won't even sell. You would be doing 21,000 a month if you just maintain that.
Which I think I can.
Yeah.
I think I can. Um, and that's just on Amazon. Like I can, you know, Cody and Max talked about eBay a lot on that podcast, and I have to agree. I think another important thing that you can do when you're a bookseller. My dog is licking me. Um, when you're a bookseller is use Amazon, but you're going to get a lot of if you're not cherry picking and you're doing free book pickups, be able to monetize everything and use eBay because eBay is a great source to sell those books um, that you can't or won't sell on Amazon. And I love eBay. I use it a lot for rarer books, um, stuff like that. But
Mhm.
that, for me, your failure question, if you had one, would be um, I was not consistent, and my numbers went the opposite direction when they were growing to about 6, 7, trending up to 10K a month. Because for 3 weeks, it took 3 weeks, um, and they went down.
Mhm.
So it's important to do that.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah. You got to put the work in, scan
do.
the books, list the books. It's a simple business model. If you scan books, you'll find good books.
Hmm.
If you list the good books and send them in, you'll sell them as long as you reprice them. Even if you don't reprice them, you'll probably sell them. you know,
Got to reprice them though. Oh,
what are the best types of books to sell, in your opinion?
um, I have the most luck with, like spirituality, um, type books. I don't know if that would fall under humanities, maybe a little bit. The occult. I actually have some back
I'm trying
here.
to start a cult.
A book cult, a salsa dancing book cult.
Yeah.
Um,
Becoming a leader, I'm coaching wrestling. I'm the host of Miami Sellers Conference. A lot of people look up to me online.
yeah,
Like, what's the difference between a cult and a group? Like, truly, like if you actually think about it, people are like, "Oh, cult is so bad, blah blah blah." But when you really get people riled up and in a state, like at Miami Sellers Conference, everyone's like, "Ah!"
yeah,
After a certain point in time in the back of your head, you're like, I don't even have control of this mob anymore. And what happens if they just like they have their own energy, And
mhm,
so like I think cult is like a negative term for like a group of people bonded together with like a leader that probably has mal or bad intentions or
yeah.
something, you know.
It's true. That's exactly correct. I mean, that's exactly where my head went. Was like when you said that, I'm thinking, what are you talking about? Like you want to, you know, drink Kool-Aid around a campfire or something? Like,
Yeah.
but no, you make it makes total sense what you're saying. Like it is, and it's the negative connotation of what you're thinking. Of all the
Mhm.
hype, that you know social media and media
Yeah.
in general build around it. But the word, and it has a
Yeah.
meaning, and it's true. There is no difference, but you know, from the two.
Hmm.
It's just
My
how,
goal, I'm trying to get people to quit their jobs.
and
That's
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 awesome.
my intention, you know, get out of the matrix, quit your job, and just like get out of this illusion that the world has put upon us, that you have to work a 9 to 5, you have to go to college. I went to college, nothing wrong with it. But like that there's like this path that you like almost a cookie cutter life that everyone has to live. Like you drive in your garage, you get out, go to sleep, wake up 9 o'clock. And like I've met so many people who have broken out of this matrix, and I just know how possible it is. And that's why, like, I'm passionate about bringing people like you on the pod.
Yeah.
You're pretty close to you've already broken out of the matrix for yourself, but you're only at 5K in sales. Just wait till you get to 50K in sales. And
Can
that'll feel like true abundance. Like, holy shit, I did it. Like, all you need to do is literally just 10x what you've done, which
Yeah,
isn't even that incredibly difficult.
not.
And it's just pretty cool to see. And so
Can
that's
we
my
pause real quick? My Mac's gonna die.
yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Let me I'll pause this. All right, we're back, guys. We had a quick little bathroom break.
Dead battery on computers. Plan ahead for these things. You gotta plug them in before you get on the pod.
Yeah.
Um, so I was thinking one of the another piece that really came together for me, when in May, when I really started hitting the thrift stores and stuff, is I am completely computer illiterate, and I have tried every listing software there is. Go to Lister came out, um, and I did the free trial, and it absolutely changed it. It is,
Do you know what's funny? I saw you log in last night at like because I get notifications on my phone. It's kind of creepy, but it tells me the email that logs in. And dude,
yeah.
I got home salsa dancing probably 2 a.m. And I swear I saw your email pop across the screen. I don't know if that was a glitch or were you actually checking your sales or something?
Um, the cat might have like hit the computer and
Okay.
turned it on or
Maybe you were
something.
just left it on and then my assistant left the chat bot on by accident and like it notified me and I'm like, this dude's hustling.
I usually do leave it on. I usually don't start listening until about 8:30 after I drop my daughter off at school, and then I
Mhm.
start doing it. But no, at 2 o'clock, I'm usually in bed or watching some kind of scary movie on TV.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
but uh, but yeah, Go To Lister. Uh, when that came out, it was the thing that I needed. Um, you know, I don't know why I couldn't figure out any of the other softwares. I watched all the videos, I chatted with all the users or help people, and I couldn't figure it out. It was too complicated. Took too much time. I don't want to spend all day listing things. Um, but when you launch your software, man, that's when my numbers started, like 100%. Like that was the day that I was able to send in everything. I think the first day I'd sent in like 8 boxes. Whereas before that, I struggled to do a box in like 2 days because I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, that's
But
awesome.
it was amazing. It is amazing.
Are you taking advantage of like our pricing notifications or anything like that? Like the no FBA offers? Are you pricing books higher?
Sometimes,
Mhm.
sometimes I do, but usually I don't. Usually because I just want to make the sale, and if my
Mhm.
if it's already going to be like a
But
hundred,
for example, like if you list a $50 book and it's got like a million sales rank, or let's just say 700,000 sales rank,
then
and there's
yes,
no FBA offers,
yes,
are you pricing that higher?
yes.
Okay.
Not a ton, I mean, because I run into the problem every once in a while that when I do that, it triggers something on Amazon,
Mhm.
and it'll take it down for, their price
High
gouging
pricing
thing,
error.
high price error. And
Sometimes it happens, but sometimes it doesn't. Like I keep talking about this, but I sold a $2,000 Jewish set.
yep,
The lowest price was 1,300 and I priced it at 2,000 and I buy boxed and I got the sale.
and that's awesome. And if it's something like that, yeah, I would absolutely do it. But
And honestly, that's actually kind of a weird scenario because I wouldn't necessarily teach that. It was a 5 million rank set of books. And so generally I actually recommend matching the low price.
right,
Like if you're going to send in an FBA 5 million rank book, you should 100% be the lowest price. That's what I would tell everybody who's listening to this. But at the time I was like, I could probably get an extra $700. Naively, I said that. And then I got the sale for an extra 700
how
bucks.
long did it take to get the sale out?
About 5 months, I think.
Wow, that's not bad. That's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. That's
Yeah. I
awesome.
remember
That's
I was
awesome.
actually with Caleb the day it sold. I was so excited because my sales, I rarely did over $2,000 a day. I
Yeah.
think I was doing like 1,000 a day. Then all of a sudden, like 3,000, that sale came through.
Yeah. It's awesome. And it feels so good, like I'm addicted to checking to see like, oh, what's going on today? Every hour I'm like, oh, look at that. Another one. Oh,
Yeah.
yay. Um, yeah, it's addicting, but it's fantastic. Um, yeah, so go to lister. If you guys aren't using go to lister, try the free trial.
I
Highly
appreciate
recommend it.
that. Let's go to lister.com. Okay. What secret have you learned that helped you grow your Amazon business?
What's secret? Uh I was afraid to sell library books, like ex-library books, the ones that had the the dust jacket covers and all
Mhm.
those, and they had all the library stickers and stuff.
Yep.
I was afraid to sell those. I don't I don't know why. I think it was more because of the amount of effort it was going to take me to clean them up and make them presentable for Amazon. I have kind of a picky standard. I don't like sending books in that have writing all over them or highlighting all in them or any kind of tears or rips. Some tears, some rips, just not too much. Um, but after I learned how to kind of, carefully take them apart, there's some serious money in some of those books. And if you just take a little bit of time to prepare the books, then they're good to go.
What are you doing to prepare the books?
Uh, it depends on what all's in there. If there's stickers in there, then you got your handy dandy heat gun you can use to remove the stickers. You got your Scotty peelers to remove the sticker. I brought props to remove the stickers. Goo gun or some kind of adhesive remover that dries pretty quick and it won't hurt the covers.
You just gave me an idea. Give me 1 second. I'll be right. All right, guys. So I just went to my closet and I have a bunch of Scotty peelers. So anyone who decides to sign up for GoToLister, obviously that's my claim to fame. Been working on this for 2 years. It's a software that helps you list books on Amazon, as we were talking about. But anyone that signs up for GoToLister and emails us, Eric, not only will we give Eric some coffee money, we have an affiliate program and we'll make sure he gets his cut back and no extra cost to you. We will also send you a Scotty peeler. This is my first time ever doing this. Nobody's going to know about this except for people that listen to 40 minutes of this podcast. So everyone who signs up, I'll probably send you 3 because it's kind of a waste just to send 1. I'll send you 3, 4, maybe even 5 if I'm feeling generous. And yeah, you'll get this. All you got to do is email us, Eric, after you sign up at support@gotolister.com. So that's a special offer for everyone who signs up from Eric's kind words for GoToLister earlier.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for doing that for everybody. Scotty peelers are great. They save your fingernails. And having more than one is also helpful because using the heat gun, they do melt. They don't damage the book or anything, but they do wear. They get a little sharp edge on them, and that can damage the paper, which you don't want.
Yeah,
so that's a cool giveaway.
Yeah, for sure. Just to put my opinion out there, I don't really peel too many stickers. I will occasionally, but just so you don't get too stressed out when you list, like especially with textbooks, I leave the stickers on because if you peel those big stickers off textbooks, generally it gets stickier. You need the goo gone. And so I think these are great for like if it's a Goodwill book or like Savers book or just there's like a small price tag, get that price tag off there because people will complain about that. Not that big of a deal if people complain about the price tag on the book. They're not allowed to. So if they ever complain and give you negative feedback, Amazon generally automatically strikes through it because it's against terms of service to complain about the price of an item because Amazon knows we're all reselling these items. So if there happens to be a price tag on an item, Amazon's not going to hold the seller accountable because of course we got the item for a cheaper price. You know, we're here to make a profit. But anyway, thanks so much for coming on, man. I do have another podcast coming up in like 1 minute. Where can people follow you at?
I'm on all the social media, Noco Treasure Trove, Instagram, Facebook, all those fun places. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Sweet. We'll link that below. Go give him a follow. And thanks so much, man.
Yeah.